My parents are here. So check this out. Look what's outside my window. Can you see it? There's a deer. See? Just been chilling there all morning. We have a this little nature wild kingdom thing happening here. Um, and that's actually very much in keeping with our theme for today, which is all about spring and cycles and birth and growth. So I'm going to spotlight the other camera. And here we go. I'd like everyone to start in child's pose, actually. And one of the things that I want us to maybe try in child's pose is, make space for your belly or whatever your child pose is comfortable for you. But then with your arms, maybe try putting your hands together over your head, because it kind of is in keeping with the theme of growth, and like you're a little seed and that's your little sprout coming up out of your head, kind of a thing. So that's the idea for this morning. Just start in child's pose. Whatever the child's pose that's comfortable for you. And if it feels good, you might try to envision this idea of your seed in the ground, and your hands are this little bitty sprout that's just starting to come up and grow. Maybe the seed can be heavy in the ground, cocooned by all of the dirt that's surrounding you. And then let's maybe allow your little plant to grow a little bit. So come out of child's pose and into tabletop. And just kind of move your table so you can start doing that stretch. Maybe drop your belly and lift your chin and rock back into child's pose again, or into puppy, just to start to move. But I think a little bit of a challenge today would be to keep your hands wherever you put them and sort of plant them in, and think about them growing roots into the ground. And actually try to come into a down dog, just keeping your hands where they are, but a really sort of awkward scrunched one where your knees are strongly bent and your spine is long. Come on back into tabletop and then stand on your knees. I'm going to let someone in. Oh, Kiana. Sophie, I see your message as well. So from your knees, pretend you're that little sprout that's grown up a little bit more. So maybe allow yourself your shins and knees and feet to root into the ground, but you're this limber little sprout that's growing. You might arch back a little bit if you want to add your hands to allow your face to seek the sun. Come into a big crunched up down dog for another second. But then walk your hands or your feet forward for forward fold. Again, have a generous bend in your knees. Maybe shift your weight from left to right. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, allow the plant to grow until you're in mountain. And then add some growth in your hands, reaching for the sky, maybe arching back, growing roots in through your feet so that your fingertips of your plant can grow. And then we're going to try a little pattern that's called a moon salutation, um, with this theme of growth and rooting. So when you're ready, bring your arms overhead, but be that plant and sway and bend, maybe twist in directions, reaching up and then coming into forward fold. Let your head dangle, reach into the ground through your feet. Then half forward fold. And then take your left foot, giant step back, dropping your knee to the ground for low lunge. So come into low lunge and think of this as being roots, lateral roots, creating a huge position of stability for you while you're sprouting up and growing from this position. So let your little sprout of your torso move and grow. My mother's here. I'm gonna let Bella back in. And there's my mom. And then we're going to come into down dog again. Maybe walk your dog, shift your weight from left to right. But think about that, your roots growing in through your hands down into the earth and gripping the ground with your hands. Back into tabletop for a second, back onto your knees. Growing with your sprout, rooting in through your knees. Down dog for another breath. And then your left leg forward for low lunge on the other side. Rooting, creating stability through this plant system. Growing roots into the ground, out in all directions. And then allowing some flexibility in your torso and your arms and playful growth in our springtime. One more down dog. And then walk your feet to your hands for half forward fold, and then roll up, growing towards the sky, adding arms, reaching up and back to mountain. So we're going to do that whole little moon salutation again. A little bit of more synchronization with our breath. So once you've checked in with your mountain, growing your roots into the ground, inhale, reach, exhale, fold forward, inhale, half forward fold, exhale, left foot back for low lunge, rise on the inhale, grow your branches, reaching for the sun, down dog, couple breaths here, growing roots through your hands and your toes or the balls of your feet. Coming back onto your knees so that you can bring your left foot forward for low lunge on the other side. Growing with your arms. On your next exhale, back into down dog. And come to the top of your mat on an inhale, half forward fold, grow, reach to the sky, and back to mountain. We're going to come back to a moon salutation, but we're going to do a little bit of an extra cyclic pattern before we get there. And it's a little bit of a mandala or a cyclic pattern. So we've got this season cyclic pattern, the moon cyclic pattern, and now we're going to do a little pattern around our mat, starting with chair. So let's practice what a good chair looks like. Rooting in through the ground and then sticking your butt out to sit into the chair, making sure that you can see your knees and that your shins are relatively vertical as opposed to making a zigzag. You want to keep your shins like this is the chair position, right? Adding arms if you feel like it. And let's stand up. So inhale, drop into your chair. Exhale, stand up. If you'd like to use a chair for stability, you're welcome to. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. And this time, inhale, chair. And instead of exhale, standing up, exhale, swing your arms back behind you, parallel to the ground. Inhale, chair. Exhale, swing your arms back. If you want an additional challenge, rock up onto your tippy toes. Try not to fall over. And then back into your chair and stand up. The next part of this little around the mat sequence is giant step wide on your mat for what they call goddess pose. It's basically a sumo squat. So twisting your feet out and dropping into the squat, trying to approximate your knee above your ankle, but depending on your body geometry, you might not get there, or it might look differently, right? First thing, just using your arms as support to drop you in, and then try some shoulder dips as we sort of get used to this squat. And then let's try hands free. So bring your torso up to vertical. It takes more quad strength to do this. And then add like arms and cactus or goalposts, but super strong fists, right? And also try twisting left and right and feel the stretch as you twist. You're probably getting a little tired, so go ahead and straighten your legs and then squat one leg at a time, just to stretch that inner thigh. And then maybe try dropping into your squat and bending back a teeny bit, maybe growing your arms and reaching up towards the sky and straightening up again. Let someone in. The pattern that we'll do, yes, please. Okay, thanks. My parents are leaving. Okay, try not to fall over. So the pattern is drop into the squat, sumo arms, and then we'll straighten into an X, like an explosion of growth. So compact seed, rooting energy, and then growing, right? And then let's do one more. Drop into your sumo squat or your goddess pose, super strong, and then explosion. Let's go to the back of the mat and try this sequence of chair, and I call it bird because it reminds me of one of those birds that dips over and balances over. So whatever version you'd like to do, if you're using a chair, you probably are, it's probably more confident to stay in one position as opposed to wandering about your mat. On your next inhale, drop into your chair. Exhale, swing your arms back, maybe hop up onto your toes. Inhale, chair. Exhale, swing your arms back. Challenge if you want. Inhale, chair. Exhale, swing back, pop up on your toes. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand up. Now we're going to come to the final side of our mat. Giant step with your left leg again. So my back's to you, or your back's to me. Drop into your sumo squat. Add cactus, super strong goddess arms. And then straighten and explode into a big X. Inhale, drop into the squat. Exhale, explode into your X. Inhale, drop into your squat. Exhale, explode. And then let's come back to our starting position and we'll wander our way around the whole thing one more time. So get ready for your chair. On your next inhale, chair. Exhale, swing your arms back, maybe pop onto the toes. Inhale, chair. Exhale, rock back. Call it bird. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bird. Inhale, chair. Stand up. Giant step with the left leg, feet turned out. Let's try inhaling. Exhale, drop into the squat. Inhale, exhale, sumo. Inhale, exhale, sumo. Inhale, and bring your feet together on your exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale, swing your arms back, toes if you feel like it. Inhale, chair. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, chair. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, chair. Stand up. Last side. Big step with your left foot. Set up. Inhale, exhale, goddess. Inhale, Exhale, squat. Inhale, exhale, squat. Inhale, exhale, feet together. A mandala all the way around our mat, a little cycle. We're gonna do another moon salutation, slow and gentle. So on your next inhale, grow your branches, reach for the sky, maybe arch back. Exhale, fold forward. Actually, inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold forward and come back up to mountain. Because I'd like us to do a little bit of a challenge balance pose before we do the moon salutation. So let's do tree, keeping with our theme, right? So shift your weight into your left foot, grow roots from that left foot and see if you can lift the right foot off the ground. It helps to focus on one point. It helps to be kind to yourself. If you fall out, then just come back in. And then either put your foot in kickstand, hold onto a wall, or put your foot on your calf, or up on your thigh. Wherever you choose, grow branches and bring that, reach for the sky, looking up, reaching for the sun, giving yourself a little bit of a challenge. Another little challenge might be, if you can, close your eyes. It's that proprioception idea where your body has to figure out where you are in space without the sense of your vision. And sometimes it's really challenging. So hopefully you're smiling, and let's switch sides. So my deer just stood up. It's starting to rain. Oh no, hold on. Just for you guys to see, she's starting to walk away. Can you see her? I guess she's done with hanging out with us today. Okay. Oh, maybe you couldn't see her because I was spotlit. Apologize. So shifting our weight to our right foot, growing roots with that right foot, putting your left foot into, maybe seeing if you can just lift it off the ground a little bit. And then if you want to put it in a formal sort of position with your knee out to the side. And then reach for the side or sky and grow your branches, looking up, maybe even arching back a little bit. And if you want the extra challenge, add the sense of a breeze. And if you want an extra challenge, try closing your eyes. And go ahead and come on out. Yay. All right. So now we're going to come on down to the ground through this idea of a moon salutation. So check in with your mountain, and then on your next inhale, reaching for the sun or the moon. New moon is coming up in a few days, couple days. Folding forward. Half forward fold. Then big step back with your left foot till your knee hits the ground and rising up for low lunge. Maybe adding branches once you find you have the root system growing down, arching back and reaching for the sun again. Both hands down for down dog. And this is kind of a scrunchy down dog. A lot of times we usually are a little bit wider. Come on back, knees down, then the left leg forward for low lunge on the other side. Find your stability and then add your branches, maybe arching back and reaching for the sun, growing, whatever your little plant is. And then hands down from tabletop and come back into child's pose. Whatever variation is comfortable for you. And remember that you're welcome to move your own body to make it a little bit more comfortable. If you want to move your thigh meat out of the way or your belly meat out of the way to make it more comfortable for you, do your practice so that you feel a position of rest in child's pose. And we're back into our little seed position. Maybe allow the earth to hold you a little bit more. And as we move around this week, maybe look for new life, new growth. Maybe notice buds on trees, flowers that might be blooming, baby animals or baby birds, or birds building nests. New growth in grass or bushes, or trees. Maybe you notice the pattern of insects shifting with the seasons. Go ahead and come out of your child's pose, back onto our knees, feeling that roots growing into the ground and reaching up for the sun. It's a little bit of a back bend. And then coming to sit on your tush, left leg forward, right leg in tree for tree on the ground. So actively rooting in with the entire leg, pushing with your heel, the calf, engaging your quad, pushing down into the ground, reaching for the sun. And then when you're ready, leaning over the extended leg. You're welcome to use a strap to make your arms a little longer. I'm going to let someone in. Maybe notice the weight of your torso and your leg pushing into the ground, growing roots through your entire leg system. Go ahead and come out of your bend and switch legs. Active with the right leg this time, the straight leg, pushing in with your heel, your calf, your thigh, maybe moving the flesh around a little bit to have more connection. Growing your branches or leaves, whatever you want to call these, the, the growth towards the sky. And when you're ready, leaning over the straight leg. And breathing, even though you're in a little bit of compression, you might not have as much space in your belly area. And again, you're welcome to move things about. Bring your torso back up to vertical, and then bring your left knee till it's pointed up, right? If you'd like to, how will it work? I feel like this is better. Bring your either left leg or right leg behind you, like in a Z position, or tuck it underneath the straight thigh, rooting down, being tall with your spine, maybe growing this time out the top of your head, then taking your right arm and grabbing your left thigh, using your left hand to help that your spine stay tall, and then looking behind you to twist. So think about a twist, and if you'd like to, you can put your right elbow on the other side of your left thigh if you want more torque. Think about starting from the bottom of your spine, that's where the twist starts, and growing tall, yet starting that spiral from the very bottom of your spine, out the top of your head. And breathing, even though we're in a pretzel position, right? Maybe even notice the sensation of your belly against your thigh. And if this is too compressy, you're welcome to move things around. Go ahead and release, and we'll switch legs. Either your leg is in a Z position or tucked underneath the right leg now. Left arm grabbing the right knee, right arm behind you to help you stand up tall or sit up tall. And then when you're ready, looking behind you, continuing over your right shoulder and thinking about the twist starting at the bottom of your spine, spiraling out the top of your head. Rooting through your sit bones or your hips, your right foot to help you rise, your right hand. And release and come into butterfly. Another spring growth is the making of cocoons and chrysalises from caterpillars till they come out as moths or butterflies, right? So let's be a butterfly for a second. Sitting up tall. Imagine yourself flying, fluttering, Come to a little bit of stillness and maybe massage the bottoms of your feet. A little bit of self-care. And maybe we're starting to feel like we are butterflies coming out of our cocoon of a year of isolation. And then let's try another twist on each side here. Being tall, looking behind you, switching sides when you're ready. I'll let someone in who just fell out. And then let's do a little bit of an inversion. And it could just be putting your hands underneath your uh, butt cheeks and bringing your legs towards the sky. If you have a block, sometimes that can be nice underneath your hips. And this is a gentle inversion. It's thinking about rooting through your torso and growing through your feet. No obligation to straighten your legs. It's fun to move your legs around a little bit. Maybe do circles just to play while your body is experimenting with an inversion where the blood is flowing in the opposite direction that it's used to. And then let's bring both feet down for a twist of your choice. You could do a kind of one-legged twist or double knee twist or cross your leg twist, whatever's most comfortable for you. Bring your arm into cactus to try to uh, bring your whole torso into the twist. Breathe. And as you breathe, maybe notice your body settling in to the twist a little bit more. Maybe your shoulder or your elbow is coming a little bit closer to the ground. Particularly on the exhales. Or maybe you aren't feeling any sensation, or maybe you're feeling too much. Find the right balance for you so that you can grow. Not enough is too safe, no growth, and overwhelm equals no growth. So, how can we find a position or a practice that allows us to grow? Bring both knees back up to vertical and maybe grab the tops of your knees for a little lower back self massage before we switch sides. And then when you're ready, you find the whatever one that you liked the first time, do it again. For the other side. And see if you can breathe even though you're in a twist. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. Notice the subtle shifts as you hold the position. One more breath here. And then bring both knees back up to vertical for a little self massage. And before we go into Shavasana, I'd like us to try half happy baby. So we've done a lot of child's poses and baby poses and growth poses. Happy baby, you grab the bottom of your foot and try to put your foot on the ceiling. So some people have different flexibility levels. And then you kind of move it around to till you find comfort. It should be for a lot of people, it's a hip stretch or um, hamstrings. Sometimes you might need a strap or not, or just grab your calf area, shin. And then go ahead and switch sides. Bottom of your foot. Move it around. And then both feet back on the ground. And then do whatever stretch you feel like your body needs right now. If you need a thread the needle butt stretch, if you roll on the side and do a quad stretch, maybe just a wiggle. Some of you who have shoulder stand in your practice could do that. Whatever feels like it still needs to be done. Or go ahead and start an early Shavasana. If you're going into Shavasana, I recommend making yourself into a tiny ball, a little seed again, and then lying into whatever your corpse pose might be. If you're still playing around, uh, you might come out of whatever poses that you're doing and scrunch up into a tiny seed and find your favorite Shavasana position. And if you're already in Shavasana, power to you. From whichever Shavasana position you're in, see if you can continue to grow those roots into the ground, reaching through the soil in multiple directions, creating a huge amount of stability, tethering you to the earth. And as you go about your day today or this week, even, maybe you can make a point of noticing the little things and looking for signs of spring and growth and rebirth, and things emerging from their slumber, coming out of their metaphoric and literal cocoons. And do a quick scan. See if there's any points that you notice where you're still clenching. Maybe just notice. Maybe you can allow your body to be held by the earth a little bit more. Start to lengthen your breathing. And just to acknowledge that we started in child's pose and ended in corpse pose. And allow your body to experience rebirth. Maybe as you wiggle your fingers and toes, think about little sprouts growing. Maybe start to move wrists and ankles as we come out of and our corpse death situation into rebirth. Maybe do a full body stretch, growing in all directions. And kindly and gently come on up to sitting. Acknowledging the cycles within the year, the month, the moon cycle, the pattern around our yoga mats. And welcome to spring. May the inner light in you reflect the inner light in me. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Maybe on your mindful
Thank
walks,
you.
notice all the growing things, right? Bye, everybody.